Warm greetings from TNV Academy. Today, this session, we are going to discuss about PCI DSS Compliance, which is known as Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. However, before we move forward, let me tell you about the key takeaways of this session. At the end of this session, you will be able to understand what is PCI DSS methodologies, the requirements of PCI DSS compliance, validation of PCI DSS compliance, PCI DSS compliance levels, and the last one is benefits of PCI DSS compliance. So let's start our discussion and take up the first point and talk about PCI DSS methodology. The payment card industry data security standard PCI DSS is a set of security standards formed in 2004 by Visa, MasterCard, Discover Financial Services, JCB International and American Express. Governed by the Payment Card Industry Security Standards Council PCI SSC, the compliance scheme aims to secure credit and debit card transactions against data theft and fraud. While the PCI SSC has no legal authority to compliance, it is a requirement for any business that processes credit or debit card transactions. PCI certification is also considered the best way to safeguard sensitive data and information, thereby helping businesses build long-lasting and trusting relationships with their customers. PCI certification ensures the security of card data at your business through a set of requirements established by the PCI SSC. These include a number of commonly known best practices such as installation of firewalls, encryption of data transmissions, and the last one is use of antivirus software. The PCI DSS is the cornerstone of the PCI SSC Council as it provides the necessary framework for developing a complete payment card data security process that encompasses prevention, detection, and appropriate reaction to security incidents. Payment card industry PCI compliance is mandated by credit and debit card companies to help ensure the security of credit and debit card transactions in the payment industry. Payment card industry compliance refers to the technical and operational standards that businesses follow to secure and protect credit and debit card data provided by cardholders and transmitted through card processing transactions. Now let us discuss about the requirements of PCI DSS compliance. The requirements set forth by the PCI SSC are both operational and technical, and the core focus of these rules is always to protect cardholder data. The 12 requirements of PCI DSS are: the first one is install and maintain a firewall configuration to protect cardholder data. The second one is do not use vendor supplied defaults for system, passwords, and other security parameters. The third one is protect stored cardholder data. The fourth one is encrypt transmission of cardholder data across open public networks. The fifth one is use and regularly update antivirus software or programs. The sixth one is develop and maintain secure systems and applications. The seventh one is restrict access to cardholder data by business need to know. The eighth one is assign a unique ID to each person with computer access. Ninth one is restrict physical access to cardholder data. The 10th one is track and monitor all access to network resources and cardholder data. The 11th one is regularly test security systems and processes. And the last one is maintain a policy that addresses information security for all personnel. Now let us discuss about the validation of PCI DSS compliance. Compliance validation involves the evaluation and confirmation that the security controls procedures have been properly implemented as per the policies recommended by PCI DSS. In short, the PCI DSS security validation and testing procedures are mutually a compliance validation tool. A PCI DSS assignment has the following entities: Qualified Security Assessor (QSA). A Qualified Security Assessor is an individual bearing a certificate that has been provided by the PCI Security Standards Council. This certified person can audit merchants for payment card industry data security standard PCI DSS compliance. QSAS are the independent groups and entities which have been certified by PCI SSC for compliance confirmation in organization procedures. The confirmation just assigns that a QSA has tended to all the separate prerequisites which are mandatory to do PCI DSS appraisals. Internal Security Assessor (ISA). An internal security assessor is an individual who has earned a certificate from the PCI Security Standards Company for their sponsoring organization. This certified person has the ability to perform PCI self-assessments for their organization. This ISA program was designed to help Level 2 merchants meet the new MasterCard compliance validation requirements. ISA certification empowers a worker to do an inward appraisal of his or her association and propose security solutions and controls for the PCI DSS compliance. As the ISAs are the upheld by the organization for the PCI SSC affirmation, they are in charge of cooperation and participation with QSAS. Report on Compliance (ROC). A report on compliance is a form that has to be filled by all Level 1 merchants, Visa merchants undergoing a PCI DSS payment card industry data security standard audit. The ROC form is used to verify that the merchant being audited is compliant with the PCI DSS standard. ROC confirms that policies, strategies, approaches, workflows are appropriately implemented and developed by the organization for the protection of cardholders against scams and frauds card-based business transactions. A template ROC reporting template available on the PCI SSC site contains detailed guidelines about the ROC. Self-Assessment Questionnaire (SAQ). The PCI DSS Self-Assessment Questionnaires (SAQs) are validation tools intended to assist merchants and service providers to report the results of their PCI DSS self-assessment. There are 8 different types of SAQs, each with a different level of complexity. The most basic is the SAQ-A, consisting of just 22 questions. The most complex is the SAQ-D, consisting of 329 questions. The self-assessment questionnaire is a set of questionnaires documents that merchants are required to complete every year and submit to their transaction bank. Another component of SAQ is attestation of compliance AOC, where each SAQ question is replied to based on the internal PCI DSS self-evaluation. Each SAQ question must be replied with yes or no alternative. In the event that a question has the appropriate response, no, at that point the association must highlight its future implementation aspects. We now move forward and discuss about PCI DSS compliance levels. PCI compliance is divided into 4 levels based on the annual number of credit or debit card transactions a business processes. The classification levels determine what an enterprise needs to do to remain compliant. Level 1 applies to merchants processing more than 6 million real-world credit or debit card transactions annually, conducted by an authorized PCI auditor. They must undergo an internal audit once a year. In addition, once a quarter, they must submit to a PCI scan by an approved scanning vendor ASV. Level 2 applies to merchants processing between 1 and 6 million real-world credit or debit card transactions annually. They are required to complete an assessment once a year using a self-assessment questionnaire SAQ. Additionally, a quarterly PCI scan may be required. Level 3 applies to merchants processing between 20,000 and 1 million e-commerce transactions annually. They must complete a yearly assessment using the relevant SAQ. A quarterly PCI scan may also be required. Level 4 applies to merchants processing fewer than 20,000 e-commerce transactions annually, or those that process up to 1 million real-world transactions. A yearly assessment using the relevant SAQ must be completed and a quarterly PCI scan may be required. Finally, let us discuss about the benefits of PCI DSS compliance. According to PCI SSC, there are major benefits of compliance, especially considering that failure to comply may result in serious and long-term consequences. Few of the benefits are: PCI compliance means that your systems are secure and your customers can trust you with their sensitive payment card information. Trust leads to customer confidence and repeat customers. PCI compliance improves your reputation with acquirers and payments brands, just the partners your business needs. PCI compliance is an ongoing process that aids in preventing security breaches and payment card data theft in the present and in the future. PCI compliance means you are contributing to a global payment card data security solution. As you try to meet PCI compliance, you are better prepared to comply with additional regulations such as HIPAA, SOX, and others. PCI compliance likely leads to improving IT infrastructure efficiency. We have now come to the conclusion of this session. In case you have any questions regarding today's topic, then please feel free to ask them. Till we meet next, it's best wishes from GNV Academy. Thank you.